Hi guys, hope you guys are doing well. I'm not sure who this is for, ne, but I really want to, like, my spirit has been jumping to share this, right? But before I go into it, I just want to share scripture from Daniel 3, verse 24. It says, Then Nebuchadnezzar the king looked and was astounded. And he jumped up and said to his counselors, Did we not throw 3 men who were tied up into the midst of the fire? They replied to the king, Certainly, O king. He answered, Look, I see 4 men united walking around in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the appearance of the fourth is like the Son of God. So basically, what had happened here, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were being forced to worship other gods, and they were just not having it. They were like, we are not going to do that. And because of that, they were punished via being thrown into the fire. So this fire was probably the hottest fire in the history of human existence, right? Because this fire even banned the people that actually made the fire. So the next thing they're saying the fourth man. The next thing the king is saying the fourth man, and the next thing the 3 men that had been thrown in, being Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, had not been burned. They were not hurt. They didn't even smell of fire. But this very same fire burned the person who had made it. That's how crazy it was, right? And so this is for me, this is me reminding you that God is in it. God is in the story. God is in the details. I know sometimes it feels like you're alone. I want you to remember this. If anything in this video, I want you to hold on to these words. You don't walk alone. You walk with an entourage. You're always guided. You're always led. You are always protected, right? You are always in the midst of the Holy Spirit. God can never send you alone. Always have confidence in this very fact that whoever sent you has gone before you, and he's straightened every crooked way, and he's given you every capability and ability to be able to victor over the situation, to be able to conquer over the situation, right? And every time there's a scripture that speaks deeply to me, I always want to refer it to my own existence, to my own life, right? I'll probably share a longer video of this on YouTube, but I just want you to see this as a testimony, to see this as a reminder that when God says he will. Number one, God is a faithful God. He honors his word. He never leaves us alone. Guys, I don't know why the need for me to keep on repeating this. I want you to get this right. You are never alone. You don't walk alone. You walk with an entourage. You are protected. You are guided. You are led. Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody out there is feeling left alone. You're not alone. The person who sent you has gone before you. He has prepared you for such a time as this. It's no mistake that you're where you are. Your life is divinely orchestrated. The time you understand this, the time things are going to be less hard, right? It's very important that you trust in the Lord. It's very important that you trust that whoever has sent you has gone before you. So I'll tell you something very quickly. Sometime in May, one of my friends last year hosted a party, and her sister called me before calling me aside, she looked at me, she was like, oh my God, you've got so much money. And I laughed because I thought to myself, money from where? I don't have money, you know. Is it because I'm wearing Gucci sliders? No, I don't have. I cannot chalet. I cannot nuke. And then she called me to the side and she says to me, God is telling me to tell you that your season of worrying has come to an end. God sees your heart. God sees the period of your heart. God knows your concerns. God knows that you constantly put people before you. God knows what you're worrying about, and he's saying he's taking care of everything, and you will never lack, right? So I looked at her, I'm like, definitely the words I want to hear. So to me, this is not a prophecy. To me, it's a word of encouragement. Then she goes on to say, in relation to your career, God is also telling me to tell you that you can apply anywhere you want to work. Just decide where you want to work, tell him about it, and then he will open a door for you, you know? And I was like, oh, oopsie. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not even taking this seriously, right? And then she goes on to say, even if you wanted to go into ministry, I'm like, ministry where? Ministry who? My life is already a living ministry, so let's can leak, please. So and then she says that. So I'm like, okay, so I take these words of encouragement, I store them in my heart, but also I'm not seeing it as a prophecy, because also in that time and in that season, I'm in a place where like things seem honest still. Yes, in my career I felt misplaced because I felt like I felt like I just wanted to quit. Like I think I was 1 year, 2 months into my articles, I wanted to quit, right? And then I spoke to one of my friends who said, no friend, don't quit, you're almost there, you're almost done. It's just 8 months, just stomach it in. And which is why it's very important to have people that you talk to about your dreams, your aspirations, and you have people that you can trust, people that can serve as your counsels, people that can serve as a voice of reason. So then she told me, she's like, don't stop, friend, stomach it in, you've got it, you're about to be done. It's just 8 months, and I was able to actually listen to her, and then I stayed the course, right? So fast forward, in September I got a DM from Sis Kuku. You guys know Sis Kuku, right? If you don't know her, just Google Usis Kuku. I got a DM from Usis Kuku on Twitter. She says to me, why did I dream of you getting a new job? Then I say to her, oh, maybe it's because I'm due for retention in the next 8 months. She says to me, nope, you gotta quit. You gotta start applying. That's not the job I'm talking about. And my jaw dropped. I was so heartbroken because I'm like, Usis Kuku never lies. She doesn't cap. When she says it, it is. So I was heartbroken because I'm thinking, I prayed for this job for so long. I wanted this job with everything I am. So why am I, in as much as I knew deep down, I felt misplaced. I felt like the puzzle was seated, but not the way I wanted to sit, and all of that. So for me to be told that I need to start searching for another job, it felt some type of way. Right. So, but anyway, I took it in. I was sad, heartbroken, and then, I started applying, got interviews, and then got an offer in December. But that job wanted me to start immediately. I couldn't because I think at the time I was now left with 3 months of my articles needed to finish. In January, guys, one of my bosses, I see him that morning. He was pacing. He was nervous. Because the thing about me, and now I get it, and I never used to get it. The thing about me, I'm very likable, right? I've got that aura. Like, if you don't like me, there's a problem with you, right? Because I carry the light of God. I've got so much light. I've got so much love. I'm just those people, man. So I'm those people. Even if you wanted to fire me, you'd be nervous. Even if you wanted to tell me bad news about me, you'd be nervous because you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's such a sweetheart. So that morning, one of my directors was like pacing. He was nervous, I could tell. So I thought he was closing off a very big transaction because, you're closing a big transaction, you're bound to be nervous. Kanti, I am the transaction. I am the transaction that he's closing off. Kanti, I am the transaction that's being closed off. Anyway, so he's pacing, and then eventually calls me into the boardroom with the other director. Then they tell me how great I am, and then he tells me that they've come to a decision that they're not going to return me. I was like, oh my goodness, the only thing I could remember is Sis Kuku's DM. I'm like, oh, I've been nonchalantly applying for a job, and now I'm not going to have a job. What have I done? And then he tells me how great I am. He tells me how he's not even worried about me because he knows I'm going to do great exploits, and he didn't lie, guys. He didn't cap. If anything, I'm called for a greater purpose, right? So I sat there, and then he kept on speaking. And guys, one thing about me, I can talk myself out of anything. I think my biggest calling is negotiating. I'm one of those people that don't interview me if you don't intend on hiring me, because I'll force you to hire me. Like, I'll force you to look for me until you find me. I'm those people that even if you don't choose me in that time, go to 3 months later, you'll still be thinking about me. That's how good I am at speaking for myself, right? So, I sit there, and then he keeps on asking me. I think he asked me at least about 4 times if I wanted to say anything. And I kept on saying no, because also it was shocking to him, because why is Yvonne not trying to negotiate to stay? And also the words that came into my mind is, you cannot talk yourself into this season. This season is dead. This season has come to an end. You can't talk yourself into staying. You staying into the season means you missing the blessings that God has for you. So I sat there, and I said, okay. They asked me if I have any objections. I said no. And I could tell the face of my boss, he's utterly shocked. And then he took a deep breath, and he said, this was easier than I thought. And he said that I understand where he came from, because guys, who was that guy in the Bible who held on to God's leg, like Wangan Foster. I'm that person, right? So and then I said okay. Then I walked out of that boardroom. I was sad because I one thing about me, I put my soul into everything. I'm such a passionate human being, right? So I put my soul into everything. So because of that, I tend to struggle with separation anxiety, right? So now I'm not even sad about me not having a job, because also I know I entered a covenant with God where I said, God, I'm gonna do ABCD, and you're gonna make sure that I'm always employed, or I'm an employer, whichever works for you in whatever season. So I was now saying that now I need to start over. I need to make new friends and all of that. That's what the main thing I was said about, right? Walk out, then I tell my colleagues. My colleagues are like, no freaking ways. You are lying, Yvonne. There's no way you wouldn't be returned. Your bosses like you. You are likable. You're this. You're smart. I'm like, nah, guys, I'm not returned. And then everybody was actually shocked. Like it was giving bombastic side eye, right? But I knew that because I don't go into rooms where God didn't send me. So when God sends me, I go. And when time is up, I leave. So I'm always with the fourth man in the fire. No matter how chaotic the season is, I'm always with God, right? So also one thing about me, I'm very optimistic. So they also thought I was pranking them because my body language wasn't so sad. And also at some point we're laughing in the boardroom. So guys, I laugh like quite a lot. I'm just that person. So so eventually people realized that it's actually true. I actually didn't get returned. Now I'm unemployed. Now I'm searching for a job. And I'm like, what am I going to do, God? Like, what's going to happen to me? And God gave me a word. He said to me, you, sweetie, you are, and I'm going to say this verbatim, you are walking into the best season of your life. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but this is the best season ever. Even wrote it down. This was sometime in April. Literally, I think just my last week at work, right? And I was going to start a new job in the following week. Literally, I got done with my job on Friday. On Monday, I started a new job. That's how crazy it is. And that's how the fourth man will always be with us. He will always guide us. He will always lead us. He will always protect us. He will always provide for us. And when I wrote those words down, I can't say I fully believed them, right? Guys, if I tell you, this year has been one of the most beautiful years ever in my life, and not materialistically. Even my soul is so full. I'm at a happy place. I'm doing the things that I care about. I'm doing the things I genuinely like. I'm with the people that I genuinely like. And it's such a beautiful time for me. And now I get it. I'm tapping into the prophecies that were said unto me. And I'm realizing that, oh, God was just reminding me not to get lost in the darkness. He was just reminding me to say, I know it's dark. I know you're sad. I know this is not what you wanted. I know that you feel you're not ready, but I feel I've prepared you. You are ready. You've done the season. You have to elevate to a bigger and greater season. And guys, wow. Like I've just been living my best life. I'm living in the best days of my life, and I know much more better days are ahead of me. Like they are coming. So I want you to be reminded that the fourth man is in it. Whatever fire that you're in, whatever chaos that you're in, God is in it. God is with you. Whether it's unemployment, whether it's lack of money, whether it's debt, whether it's relationships, friendships, whether it's pain, whether it's traumas, whether it's your bad relationship with your mom, with your dad, with your parents, with your siblings, God is in it. God is in it. Be so confident in the power of God that even in the midst of chaos, you are able to say, he who sent me has gone before me, and he has straightened every crooked way. He is in the room. He is there with you. Like, whoo, I don't know who this is for, but God is with you. God is in it. Do not give in. Do not give up. Do not quit. Look at me. I thought I was going to be unemployed. I didn't even get a chance to rest. Friday, you are getting done here. Monday, you are there. So, and also guys, be on the lookout. God will send you people. Sometimes when God feels like you're not getting the message, or because sometimes we block ourselves from hearing God. So we created, like, we're not in an atmosphere where God can directly converse with us. So if he can't do that, he sends us physical people. God sent me people to remind me of his power. And wow. Hi, let's talk in another day. I just came here to encourage you. Okay, have a good day.